Hi Peaches, it's Shaaba, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. Today we are exploring the realm of entitled parents. Like our Am I the Drama series, I'm hoping that there's something that we can learn from this. Particularly as I'm talking about family planning, thinking about having my own little squishes in the future. Maybe there's some territories here that we can navigate around. Some things we can know what not to do when looking at other entitled parents. But it's also equally plausible that the entitlement is so severe we'd never do things like this anyway, in which case it's just a bit of fun, innit? Let's get our hard hats on, let's grab a cuppa, let's dive deep into entitled parents. Ooh, entitled mum doesn't allow sleepover because there is no PlayStation. Wow. Do you remember your first sleepover? My first sleepover, I was so nervous about not wiping my feet on a doormat because my mum was like, be kind, be good, behave. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, say please, say thank you, you wipe your feet on the doormat. And I was like, all right, cool. So when I got there and there was no doormat, small Shaaba was very panicky. I was like, I actually told my friend and her mum, I was like, you don't have a doormat. In hindsight, sounds incredibly rude. So there you go. Let's just read on. My brother, 13, has his birthday soon. Now his birthday is during the Christmas period, so getting to do anything for his birthday with friends is difficult as other families have plans over Christmas, which is understandable. Is Christmas a bad time to have a birthday? I always thought it was like cute and cozy, but I get this vibe. Jamie's birthday always seems to fall in half term because his birthday is February 19th and he hates it. He's like, nothing ever good happens in February. We've got the terrible weather here in the UK. All of the kids were always away because it was always half term, and lo and behold, it's half term again. Not that we're at school anymore, so you know, like, it's fine. But I never got it. I was like, psh, February's great. Plus his star sign and my star sign work so well together. It's all good. But this year, because he's turning 30, I wanted to get him a bouncy castle because he said I really would love a bouncy castle. Like, not to get one, to hire one, of course, to have for my birthday. And I called around so many different places and nowhere does them until April because the weather's too bad. I was like, yes, Jamie, for the first time, I concur. Your birthday is poop. Your birthday has sabotaged you, and I'm sorry it's in February. OP says a sleepover is especially difficult because he doesn't want to have his 3 other siblings running around. This year, though, the stars have aligned. I'm an older sister, age 16, and I'm away at my boyfriend's house for a few days over Christmas. And the 2 younger siblings, 9 and 7, are going to have a fun day with Dad. That's really cute that that's happening. I can relate to having little siblings running around during sleepovers. I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was quite cute, and my friends as well were like, aw, but also because we could just kick them out. So, when I was younger, it wasn't such an aw moment for me. So I get it. This is cute. I'm glad brother is being able to have his little sleepover. Mum is staying to make sure that the house isn't set on fire. Most importantly, a friend's mother has allowed a sleepover just after Christmas Day on his birthday. But, friend's mother, who we'll call entitled mother, has other ideas. On Christmas Eve, my mum gets a notification on a second-hand selling platform. It was entitled mother. As with the run-up to Christmas, we got rid of stuff. Notably, my brother got rid of his PlayStation. He's always preferred Xbox. He won the PlayStation, tried it, barely used it, would rather sell it for a bit of money and buy some Xbox games. Can't argue with that. I mean, can I argue with that? No, you know what? You need to do what you need to do. It's totally fine. Are you team Xbox? Are you team PlayStation? We have both. I personally just prefer the games that are out on PlayStation, so we've always got the new PlayStation, and I guess, does that make me team PlayStation by default? But we're not discriminatory here. All console users are welcome. All console users are valid. The entitled mother can argue with this, though. She says entitled son wants to come to the sleepover to see brother's PlayStation. Mum says, well, little brother has an Xbox, which I'm sure entitled son and little brother will have fun on, and if the entitled son is interested in a PlayStation, the one we're selling is barely used and is being sold for half the price. Entitled mum says, I can't afford that. I wanted him to go over to play on the PlayStation. It was his one Christmas wish. Now you've ruined it. Entitled son isn't coming to just stare at a PlayStation box. Mum says, I should hope not. Entitled son should come to have fun with the little brother. Yeah, like, really? The friend's just coming to play the PlayStation? I don't think so. I think he's coming to have a good time with his friend on his birthday. Shortly after, entitled son messaged little brother saying he doesn't want to come anymore. And he's distraught. So thank you, entitled mother. You've ruined his Christmas and his birthday, and probably his son's Christmas too. That is so sad. Also, I'm having a vibe that this isn't entitled son's doing. I don't know. Are kids at the age of 13 really that into PlayStations that it'll be like, fine, I'm not coming because of this? I want to look into that a bit more. Hang on a second. We need to go fishing a bit further. If her son only wanted to play PlayStation, he ain't a real friend. Totally agree with this, and it's definitely true. But OP responded and said, we don't think this is the case. They've been friends for a few years and rarely fallen out, unlike other friends that my little brother has had. The son did want a PlayStation for Christmas, as any teenager would, which is a struggle for a parent with how much they cost, but we don't think he comes just for the PlayStation. He comes around for tea a few times and they play football and all sorts other than video games. Personally, I feel he's forced to not go by the entitled mother. Could you imagine? Someone else says the mum probably took the son and sent that message. That's so sad. Could you imagine getting in the way of like two friends just doing their thing? Because instead of playing on a PlayStation, they're going to play on an Xbox. Is it really that big a deal? I don't know. This is definitely entitled parent behaviour, and to do it over Christmas and to rest your fulfillment of your son's Christmas wish on a sleepover, like you're literally, from the mum's point of view, using someone else for their gift to fulfill a Christmas gift wish for your son. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe the mum doesn't understand how similar console games are and that a game is a game, because it's not like the post is mentioning a specific game that's PlayStation exclusive. Believe I'm trying to justify something that's not justifiable, because it's just so sad that a parent would do that. Jesus. Also thinking, and I know this is not the point, but like if the son's friend really, really wanted to play, right, on the PlayStation, and you haven't sold it yet, you're not going to go out on Christmas Day to give it away, right? So assuming that it's still in the house, I'm not saying don't accept a sale on your secondhand store if the PlayStation is sold, but if it's not sold yet, you could totally play a game or two with him if that's really what he wanted to do. But as a matter of principle, that's not what he should be asking for in the first place. It's just weird to me. I'm feeling very weird. I did think parents like this existed. We need to move on. Ooh, do not mess with an angry mama bear. I agree with this statement. And I know that kids are not cats and cats are not kids, but I have to say my cat parenting already is very do not mess with angry mama bear. So I cannot imagine my state of angry mama bear for a human child. That's going to be fun. A couple of weeks ago, my son, who's 4, was sick. No. He had a bad stomach flu that he couldn't shake, and since he didn't get better after 5 days and barely responded to questions, I called the doctor's office. They were worried, so they wanted to see him. Off to the doctor's office, we have a lovely doctor who told me that my son needed oral rehydration salts, and that when uncomfortable, he could also have a suppository or other painkiller for children. I need to Google suppository. Suppository. Suppositories are a different way to deliver medicine. They're inserted into the back passage to melt, lubricate, and soften poop. Cute. Not quite cute, that's not what I meant. Cute is just my response to things. Let's swiftly move on. Since I don't have anyone at that moment who could take care of my son, I brought him with me to the nearest pharmacy for those two things. I put my son in a car in the supermarket that was in the same mall-type building on a pillow so he was more comfortable, and off we went. That's adorable. ORS was easily found. That's the oral rehydration salts. I didn't know these were a thing, but good to know. Not many people need it, especially in winter. Children's suppositories were harder to find. Thankfully, I found the last pack at the back of the shelves. My son wanted to hold the medicines. Sure, little man, here it is. Don't do anything with it. Since I was eager to get him home, I hurried to the checkout. As I was standing in line, I was looking at some other things for sick kids that they had behind the counter, thinking if I could use something. I looked back at my son to see how he was feeling as he made a sound. I turned to see a hand grabbing my son's hand with the pack with suppositories. Oh! I look at the fool who had the nerve to do such a thing. Angry mama bear is engaged. I would be too. Enter the entitled mother. This is giving me movie scene and I'm so here for the drama. Who takes something from a kid? You know when they say, like, taking candy from a baby? Taking suppositories from a baby? Who does that? My son started crying and screaming, no. Before I could react, she wrenches the packet from my son. She starts screaming that she has a sick child at home and that she needs it more than my son. I tell her that my son is sick as well and that we had it first. Then this poor excuse of a living being had the audacity to say that I was lying. The audacity. That is the correct use of that phrase. Whoa. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think what I would do in this situation. My rage is like building, but I'm also thinking there are two mums in this situation, both with children who are very in need, so they're both going to be really stressed out. They're both angry mama bears. You don't take medicine from a baby. you just don't take anything from anyone's hand, regardless of their size and regardless of what it is. It's just like number one human rule of being nice co-shoppers. You just don't do that. Having said that, OP said how hard it is to find, and clearly entitled mum is also stressed because she needs it too. How many suppositories are in the packet? Would I do this in real life? I'm trying to think. I was just thinking, would it be possible to pay for the packet, split the packet, and be like, here, your child clearly needs some too? But then with with things like suppositories, you need multiple of them. So there might also just be one in the pack. If there are multiple, you might need multiple in a pack. And that's all totally disregarding the point that this person is clearly being a little bitch. Like, literally trying to take something from a child and then screaming to be like, I need it more, and saying that you're lying that your child needs it? No, I don't think I would. Okay. Walking it through in my head, I would not want to help this person out purely because they're just being so mean. I think like my anger over the situation, I just don't think they're acting in a way that's deserving of OP's mum making extra leniences for them, especially when they've already upset the child this much. Who does that? Who does that? My son had lost several pounds in less than a week because he was so sick and he looked bad. He even felt lighter than my daughter, who's 2 years younger than her big brother. Oh, I was sick with worry. My son needed to get the ORS in the system. He needed to shake this damn stomach flu, or otherwise a little stay in the hospital during Christmas became a not so fun but real option. Our doctor was very adamant that he needed to get the ORS and the fluids to prevent this. I don't know why I'm trying to make leniences for this person, okay? I'm just seeing there are two mums because there are two babies in need, and regardless of the mum's conflict, the two babies need the things, right? They need help. Really, what the doctor said is you need the ORS, and that there are suppositories or other painkillers should your child feel discomfort. So again, maybe it would have been okay to be like, look, does your child really need these? Because really my child needs the ORS and I can find other painkillers. But again, would you be so lenient if someone is being so horrible? What do you think, Peaches? Pop downstairs in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this. Am I trying to be too kind? I'm just thinking of another poor baby who is sick at home and sad. And it doesn't excuse the mum's behaviour. We cannot steal medicine from babies. I'm just questioning whether I'm absolutely bananas for even thinking that there's a way to compromise with a woman who's done this. Let's read on. My son was crying whilst climbing out of the car. When I picked him up and held him, I raised my voice and told this piece of crap that I didn't give a damn if she thought that I was lying. I'd have done the same. I remained calm, but I let her have it. I lost every ounce of patience that I normally have. The increasing worry of the past few days, the lack of sleep as he needed his mum so much, even at night, was wearing me down. I get it, babe. I get it. I saw red and I cannot remember everything, which probably means that OP wasn't very nice, hence engaging angry mama bear. People who were in the pharmacy and at the cash registers of the supermarket heard me. I asked her what piece of trash takes something out of the hands of a child, a sick child no less, and that my son being sick wasn't even a point of discussion because it was visible. She tried backing away and I followed her. Every time she opened her mouth, I talked over her. Eventually the manager came and told her to return what she had taken. The entitled mum didn't give them to me right away, but what she did was throw the suppositories on the floor and then left. I know she did a bad thing. I just feel bad for her kid at home. And I do feel bad for her stressing too. Doesn't mean that you can take something from a child. Doesn't mean that you can lie. But oh my goodness. I have to be honest, I still feel really bad for that kid at home. Oh, I was shaking whilst I paid for what I had. The manager of the pharmacy and supermarket sat me down and gave us some water. They talked to me to calm me down. And when I was calmed enough, I went home where I could continue taking care of my son. Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts downstairs, my loves. I'm thinking it's actually not that big a deal, right? Like, if you've seen that someone else has got it, entitled mum could have just gone to another place to try and get it. I know it's not convenient. That's what happens. If she'd arrived 5 minutes later to the supermarket, she'd have had to do the same thing anyway, you know, because OP mum would have already gone with the last pack of suppositories. And then the other part of my brain's going, well, I know what it's like when there's medication shortages and it's actually really freaking difficult to find some stuff. Jamie really needed medication one time and I actually went to like 7 different pharmacies and all of them were like, nope, sorry, don't have it. Super rare. And it was really frustrating. So yeah, you just don't know the position of anyone, do you? Like, it could be that entitled mum has come here having had a really nasty time, already looking in 6 other pharmacies, and this was the last packet. This is not, however, to excuse what she did. You don't take something from a child. If that was me, do you know what I'd say? I'd be like, hi, mum, really sorry. In a very sticky need for this, as are you, clearly, that's why you're buying it. Is there any chance I could buy it from you? Assuming I had the money to do it, I'd probably offer like higher than the price and be like, here, take some extra money, I really need this. And assuming that the mum would have been like, I also really need this, I'd have suggested splitting it. That would have been my approach. If I'd already tried elsewhere, if I haven't tried elsewhere, I would have just left it alone and gone elsewhere. It's as simple as that. So yes, no, entitled mum was wrong. I was gonna say, does this make her entitled? Yes. Why am I trying to defend her so much? It's an entitled move. It's a poop move. I'm still really interested to hear your thoughts though. Please do let me know what you think downstairs. Let's move on meanwhile. Another entitled parent on a plane story. The sequel to Snakes on a Plane that we never thought we'd deserved. So me and my boyfriend booked Menorca. Jamie and I went to Menorca. It's actually really cute. It's like a gorgeous tiny island with not very much going on, and that's what makes it so wonderful. The culture is beautiful and it's so small and it's just a chill time. Like, we were forced to relax in a way that I haven't relaxed before. Big fan of Menorca. OP says it was our first holiday together and we paid extra to sit next to each other. So cute. Oh, we got on the plane and for a while no one sat next to us. However, I see where this is going. Towards the end, a family got on, 2 kids and 2 adults. Okay, we had them say their seats and I heard the mother say that her seats were next to me. Only she didn't sit next to me. I can see where this is going. They're gonna want to sit together. Do they pay for the seats? This is like such a common thing that comes up on all online forums. Her, the other adult, and one of the children sat together and put a child who was no more than age 5 next to me, even though the other seats were 2 rows back. I understand the 2 question marks. I totally appreciate them. Why are you doing this? If there are 2 adults and 2 kids, why would you put a child that is clearly of the age that someone should totally be looking at them away from the other adult? Like, put an adult in that seat, dude. Put an adult in that seat. Like, surely you would sit both kids with one adult and the spare adult would sit next to me. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you 100% OP. Anyway, the kid sat next to us and I didn't speak to her, so I didn't seem creepy. And a few minutes later, the mother approached us and asked me or my boyfriend to move so she could sit next to her kid. Oh, so it wasn't even like both of you move. It's like, I need one of you to move. Well, of course that makes sense because otherwise they'd be in the same position. That is entitlement. That's rude. I said no because we paid to sit together, so if we moved we'd waste our money, and she just continued to look at me and say, but my kid can't sit alone. And I told her, well then you can sit here and put the kid with the other adult, and she acted like I'd just slapped her across the face, shouting at me, so you want me to sit with none of my kids? I mean, yeah, if you don't pay for seats, you don't get to choose where you sit. You certainly can't force someone, when you've already asked them politely to move if they don't want to move. What? She even said, why do I need to sit next to my boyfriend? It's not like we're attached at the hip. Okay, hang on a second. I have something to say here. And I'm saying it at the fear of sounding anti-kid, which I'm not. I do want a family. I love families. I think they're very cute. And I definitely see that sometimes families need extra contingencies. I totally appreciate and respect that families with small kids should be able to park closer to a supermarket because they need that access. I totally respect that families should be getting onto planes first and should be having things like discounted tickets. Like with family prices, I get it. So many leniencies are made for families, and they should be. I'm not anti-family. But at the same time, there are situations like this where I just don't think it's fair that you can pull out a family card and think just because you have children, you are therefore more in need of something that you could have done but didn't pay for ahead of someone else. Like, some people look at a couple and are just like, oh, well, why do you need to sit together? One, why does it have to be a need? If they just want to and they've paid for it, who the frick are you to turn around and put your entitledness right in the middle of that? You don't need to. But also, 2, you shouldn't be assuming that just because they're a couple, they are less in need than a family. What happens if someone in that couple has severe travel anxiety? What if someone in that couple has severe travel sickness? What if someone in that couple is just a really scared flyer and they need the support of someone close to them? There could be 101 different things that are going on that means that not only do they want to, which they're entitled to do because they paid for it, but also they need to stay together. And I've seen this so many times, both in real life and on forums, where families are like, yeah, well, I have children. Yeah, well, pay for your damn seats then. You know what I mean? Anyway, after arguing back and forth, says OP, some old man stood up and said that there were spare seats next to him that they could sit there, and then looked at me and my boyfriend and said, young people these days have no respect for anybody. Like, we literally paid over £100 to sit there and this woman was being ridiculous. Why didn't she book seats together? Can someone please confirm that I was not in the wrong? I don't think you were in the wrong at all. If this was an Am I the Drama post, I would say big time you are not the drama. And I really do just think it's super ageist of the man to say that, because nobody knows what your needs are, or also just your wants. Plus, if there were other seats, why the frick did entitled mum not just go there first and be like, hi, these seats are empty. Can I sit here with my child? Instead of trying to literally break up 2 people who are sitting next to each other. Ugh. Someone else says to the man who said young people these days have no respect for anyone, I'd have said no, the lack of respect comes from parents who don't pay extra to sit with their kids in hopes of bullying other passengers who did pay extra to give up their seats, thinking they're entitled to get a freebie on our dime. And you know, if I was eloquent enough to be able to deliver such a speech, but also to do it in a way where I didn't tear up or say things without going, so that would be great. But the reality is, Shaaba doesn't work very well when she's angry, and I imagine that many people in AP's position could probably probably hard relate to that. I always pay to have seats together, says someone else. Absolutely, with my child. This witch was looking for entitlement that she isn't willing to spend money on. This is absolutely entitled behaviour. I also feel though, I don't know, I love looking at stories of other people, so I'm on forums quite a lot, and on a wide range of forums, this exact problem, the paying for seats thing, seems to come up as a debate with the same frequency as whether pineapple belongs on pizza. It's just such a common question, and people seem really divided on it. So Peaches, if you want to, let me know downstairs. If you didn't pay for seat changes, would you ask someone else who has, and is therefore sitting together, to move? I'd love to know. I don't judge you if you would. My mum, for example, would absolutely do that. I personally wouldn't, but I don't think it's wrong to ask the question. But if someone says no, bloody respect that. It might be that they don't care about sitting next to each other, in which case, fine. But if they do, you have no right to push on it. Oh, entitlement really does boil my blood though. All right, let's do one more. Entitled parent lies and uses me as an example to her kid. This sounds spicy. Oh no. So in Ireland, we do a thing called transition year, or TY for short. Oh, I like it because it's like, thank you. And it's a year in school where 15 to 16-year-olds do work experience rather than study for tests. Whoa. Wait, so do you still have the exams? I have so many questions. So you have like an entire year of work experience and then you go back to revise for exams and then do exams? Or you do this instead of exams? Because in the UK, we have work experience in school too, but it's not a year. It's like 2 weeks. I did mine in the zoo and it was both so much fun and also absolutely horrible. It was so much fun because I love seeing the animals, and it was really horrible because I didn't understand that I had ADHD at the time, and so like a lot of my thoughts and problems with routine and structure and authority of doing things that were just so monotonous and boring and also gross, because like zoos sell elephant poop, which is totally fine, and it was my job to count the elephant poop tubs but also to clean the elephant poop tubs that weren't sorted properly in the stockroom, and it was really gross. Yeah, love-hate relationship, but I'm really glad that they do it. I think a year is cool. Like, it's a good idea, but then do you have to stay at one place? So many questions. Let's read on. I'm a 16-year-old man, and I did my work experience in a childcare facility for a couple of weeks. Hang on, so you did it for a couple of weeks. Does that mean that your transition year, you get to go to different places to do lots of different work experiences over the year? Or am I getting this really wrong, and it is also just for a couple of weeks, like we do it in, where are we? England. This is not the point, Shaaba. Move on, Shaaba. Okay. Everyone was super nice, apart from one mum. Around 29-ish, I had a suspicion that Siobhan. I like saying Siobhan because I used to pronounce the name Siobhan and I got very embarrassed, so now this is me just telling you that I know how to pronounce Siobhan. Siobhan didn't really like me that much, and I didn't know why. She did small passive-aggressive things towards me, like refusing to talk to me unless absolutely necessary, even though she was rude, and went out of her way to make working harder for me. Siobhan sounds like she sucks and she needs to go in the bin. Until one day, when she was collecting her daughter, when Siobhan was just about to leave the nursery, her daughter asked, "Mummy, why does OP have a hand like a crab?" I'm slightly disabled, says OP, in my left hand. I was born with no fingers but got 2 toes stitched onto it. Oh, I usually don't mind when kids ask this. They're very curious and I just tell them that I was born with it, but it doesn't affect me in any way. I'm still OP. That's adorable and such a lovely way to deal with it, and I'm so glad that you took it well. I know some people would have been uncomfortable with that. I just wanted to point out as well, like, how adorable in light of the context of your disability and how you've like described it. Just the idea of a kid asking such an innocent question like that is it's cute, and it could have been a great learning moment, and I'm guessing this didn't go in the way that it was supposed to. After her daughter asked, Siobhan proudly and snarkily replied in a louder tone so I could hear it at the other end of a hallway, "That's because OP spent too long on his iPad and never ate his veggies," and then shut the door of the facility. Oh my god. The audacity. Unfortunately, it was my last day working, so I couldn't do much, but I did tell the manager the whole story. She already knew that Siobhan didn't like me, and I'm guessing, OP, that this is probably why. Siobhan is just a discriminatory cow. Rude. How dare. I don't know what happened to Siobhan, or if she got kicked out of the nursery. Hopefully she did, though. I mean, I don't care if Siobhan was, but I really hope the kid wasn't kicked out for that, because it's not the kid's fault that her mum is trash. But yeah, I definitely hope that the nursery was able to step in and let the kid know and be like, hey, it's a shame that it was like your last day too, so you couldn't have that conversation yourself with the child. But I really hope the nursery could step in and explain that this happens sometimes. There's beauty in the diversity of people. We're not all the same. We don't all function the same. It doesn't make any of us lesser than. It just means we're a bit different. And I just feel really bad for this kid. But you know what? Good for you, OP. Good for you for like being able to stand up for yourself and have the self-assurance that something like this doesn't knock you. Because it shouldn't. And Siobhan is trash and you are not. So Yeah, you. Hugs. Oh. Again, the entitlement of some people. Like, what? What a horrible way. Even if it was with good intentions to try and get, like, maybe Siobhan's like, you know what? My kid has too much screen time and doesn't eat her veggies. I should find a way to help this. And then decides to opportunistically discriminate and tell lies that will instill fear in the child. Just on so many levels. This is so harmful and wrong. People suck, dude. Some people suck. Let's not do this. Anyone who needs a reminder, this is not okay behavior from Siobhan. Her mum sounds horrible. I feel sorry for her child. I do too. Wow. And I'm really sorry that happened to you, OP. Totally undeserved. I hope the rest of your transitioning year, whether it's 2 weeks of work experience or an entire year of work experience, which sounds very cool, went well and you got a lot out of it and that everyone else treated you amazingly and as you should be treated. Zen Shaaba. All right, everybody take a second to roll the head, to make sure the shoulders are not raised, to relax the jaw. We survived an episode of Entitled Parents. I'm so happy for us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll catch you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.